I should have known something was wrong when Ton stopped posting me on his Instagram. But like a fool in love, I made excuses. He's a private person now, I told myself. He's matured. My name is Amarachi, and the day I discovered my boyfriend of 4 years had a traditional marriage introduction scheduled with another woman, I was helping his younger sister pick a CB for what I thought was a family friend's wedding. Let that sink in. His own sister, Ngozi, was standing in that fabric store with me, watching me smile and laugh, knowing fully well that in 3 weeks, her brother would be introducing another woman to their family as his wife. The ACB wasn't for a friend's wedding. It was for Ton's introduction ceremony. And the bride wasn't me. Amora, what color do you think? The peach or the emerald green? Ngozi had asked, holding up 2 gorgeous lace fabrics. The emerald is stunning, I remember saying, running my fingers over the material. Whoever this bride is, she has good taste. The way Ngozi's face changed, just for a split second, should have told me everything. But I was too blind to see it. You see, Ton and I met at the University of Lagos. I was in my final year studying accounting, and he was doing his master's in business administration. He was everything I thought I wanted: tall, handsome, from a good family in Enugu, with prospects of taking over his father's importing business. We fell in love the way young people do, fast and reckless, believing nothing could tear us apart. For 4 years, I was the perfect girlfriend. I cooked his favorite ofensala even though I'm Yoruba and had to learn Igbo cooking from YouTube. I attended every family function, called his mother mommy, and brought her gifts from every trip I took. I woke up early to pray for his business deals. I was his ride or die, his backbone, his baby. But apparently, I was never going to be his wife. The truth came out the most painful way possible. It was a Tuesday evening, and I had gone to his family house in Lekki Phase 1 to drop off some documents he needed for a business meeting. I had my own key, that's how comfortable we were. When I walked into the compound, I heard voices in the parlor. Loud voices. I was about to announce myself when I heard Ton's mother, Mrs. Okafor, mention my name. Amarachi is a nice girl, I'm not saying she's not. But nice is not enough for this family. We need somebody with connections, Ton. Somebody whose family can help expand our business into the southeast. Your father has been discussing this with Chief Nwosu for 2 years now. My heart started pounding, but I stayed hidden by the corridor. Mommy, I love Amora. She's been with me through everything. Ton's voice sounded weak, pleading. Love. His mother laughed. It was a cold, sharp laugh that cut through my chest. My son, you can love her all you want after you marry Chidinma. Keep her as your girlfriend if you must. But Chidinma Nwosu is who you will introduce to this family. Her father owns 3 factories in ABA and has political connections in Abuja. What does Amarachi's family have? A small provision store in Ajij. Be wise, my son. I felt my legs give way. I had to lean against the wall to keep from collapsing. But mommy, no buts. The sound of her palm hitting the armrest echoed. The introduction is scheduled for 3 weeks from now. Chidinma is a beautiful, well-trained Igbo girl who knows her place. She will respect his family. She will give us strong Igbo sons who will carry our name forward. This discussion is over. The silence that followed was worse than the words. Because Ton said nothing. My boyfriend of 4 years, the man I had built my entire future around, said absolutely nothing. I don't even remember walking out of that compound. The next thing I knew, I was in my car, parked somewhere in Lekki, crying so hard I couldn't breathe. My phone was ringing, Ton calling, but I couldn't pick up. Not yet. I needed to understand what just happened. Have you ever felt like your whole life was a lie? Like every I love you, every you're my forever, every promise whispered in the dark was just empty words. That night, I didn't go home. I drove to my best friend Kemi's house in Ikeja and told her everything. Amora, I'm not even surprised, Kemi said, pouring me a glass of Chapman. These Igbo mothers and their obsession with marrying from their own. I've seen this movie before. What are you going to do? I don't know, I whispered. Part of me wants to fight for him. We've invested 4 years, Kemi. 4 years. And he invested 0 seconds defending you to his mother, she replied, her voice sharp with anger on my behalf. Babe, did you hear yourself? The man said nothing. Not, Mommy, Amara is my choice. Not, I can't do this. Nothing. That tells you everything you need to know. But I wasn't ready to hear it. Not yet. For 1 week, I ignored Ton's calls and messages. He sent texts saying we needed to talk, that he could explain, that things were complicated. On the 8th day, he showed up at my apartment in Suralia with flowers and tears. Baby, please. Let me explain. Against my better judgment, I let him in. My mother is traditional, you know this, he started, sitting on my small couch, looking everywhere but at my eyes. This thing with Chidinma, it's just business. It's what my family needs right now. But it doesn't change what I feel for you. I stared at him like he had grown 2 heads. Business. Turned, you're talking about marrying another woman. It's just for show, Amora. These traditional marriages, they're not like white weddings. It's just to satisfy our parents and merge the family's businesses. You're the one I love. You're the one I want to be with. So what am I supposed to be? Your side chick. Your mistress that you sneak around with while you build a life with Chidinma. It's not like that, then what is it like? I was shouting now, for years of being the understanding girlfriend finally breaking apart. Explain to me how you marry someone else but I'm supposed to just wait around. How does that work, Turned? He reached for my hand. I pulled away like his touch burned. Give me 2 years, he said. Let me do this introduction, satisfy my family, and sort out the business connections. Then I'll find a way to what? Divorce her. You think her father, this powerful Chief Nwosu, will just accept that? You think your mother will let you embarrass the family like that? The look on his face told me he hadn't thought that far ahead. Or worse, he had, and he knew I was right. Amora, I'm in a difficult position. No, I stood up, suddenly crystal clear about everything. You put yourself in this position by being a coward. You let your mother plan an entire marriage introduction without saying a word. You let me walk around like a fool, thinking I was building a future with you. You let your sister stand in that fabric store with me, picking a CB for your wedding to another woman. You did all of that. Baby, please, get out. Amora, get out. He left, but not before saying, I love you. I'll fix this somehow. Just give me time. But we both knew he was lying. The days that followed were dark. I called in sick to work. I was a banking officer at GT Bank in Marina, and just lay in my bed, replaying every moment of our relationship, looking for signs I had missed. And you know what? They were all there. The way his mother always found something wrong with whatever I did. The way his father barely acknowledged my presence at family gatherings. The way extended family members would ask Tond, so when are you finding a proper Igbo wife, right in front of me, like I was invisible. I had been so desperate to be loved, so desperate to belong to his world, that I had ignored every red flag waving in my face. 3 days before the introduction, Ngozi called me. I almost didn't pick up, but something made me answer. Amora, I'm sorry. She was crying. I wanted to tell you so many times, but Mommy said if I did, she would disown me. I was scared. I'm so sorry. Is it happening? The introduction? Yes. This Saturday. Chidinma is. She's nice, But she's not you. Even Ton knows that. He's been miserable. Good, I said, and I meant it. He should be. Will you? Will you be okay? I laughed, a bitter sound that surprised even me. Eventually. But Ngozi. Don't ever call me again. You chose your family. I understand. But we are not friends. I hung up before she could respond. Saturday came. The day of Ton's introduction to Chidinma. I decided to do something crazy, something my mother would have fainted over if she knew. I got dressed in my best outfit, did my makeup like I was going to a wedding, and I drove to the Okafor's house in Lekki. I didn't go to cause a scene. I went to see for myself. I needed to close this chapter properly, with my own eyes. I parked down the street where I could see the compound gate. Cars started arriving around 11 a.m. Big cars. Lexus SUVs, Range Rovers, even a Bentley. This wasn't just an introduction, it was a statement. Chief Nwosu was showing off his power, and the Okafors were basking in it. Then I saw her. Chidinma. She stepped out of a white Lexus, and I'll be honest, she was beautiful. Light-skinned, curvy in all the right places, wearing a gorgeous coral lace blouse and wrapper, with a gelly so perfectly tied it must have taken an hour. She looked like every Igbo mother's dream daughter-in-law. But you know what I noticed? The smile on her face looked practiced. Rehearsed. Like someone had told her exactly how to behave, how to walk, how to perform. Just like I had performed for 4 years. I watched Ton come out to receive her family. He was wearing traditional attire, looking handsome and miserable at the same time. Our eyes didn't meet, he had no idea I was there, but I saw everything I needed to see. This was his choice. Not his mother's. Not his father's. His. Because at any point, he could have said no. He could have fought for us. But he didn't. He chose the easier path, the one paved with family approval and business deals. And in that moment, sitting in my car, watching the man I loved welcome his new wife into his family, I made a choice too. I chose myself. I drove away before the ceremony started. I didn't need to see anymore. The months that followed weren't easy. I cried. I raged. I went through every stage of grief. But I also did something I hadn't done in 4 years, I focused on me. I enrolled in a professional certification course for chartered accountancy. I started going to the gym. I rekindled friendships I had neglected while playing housewife to someone who was never going to marry me. I traveled to Calabar and Ghana with Kemi. I learned to cook for myself, not to impress anyone. And slowly, painfully, I healed. 6 months after his traditional marriage, Ton called me. I had changed my number, but he somehow got the new one. Amara, I made a mistake. This marriage is hell. Chidinma is not you. My mother controls everything. I have no peace. Please, can we talk? Can we try again? I almost laughed. Almost. Ton, I'm going to say this once. You didn't make a mistake. You made a choice. You chose family approval over love. You chose business connections over loyalty. You chose to let a good woman go because standing up for her was too hard. Those weren't mistakes, those were decisions. And now you have to live with them. Baby, please, I'm not your baby. I'm not your backup plan. I'm not your escape from a marriage you agreed to. I am a whole woman who deserves someone who chooses her first, not last. Not after everyone else approves. First. And that will never be you. Amara. Goodbye, Ton. Be happy with your choice. I blocked the number immediately. Now, a year later, I'm engaged to Damalola, a Yoruba man I met at a friend's birthday party. He's not richer than Ton. He doesn't come from a more powerful family. But you know what he did? 3 months into dating, he took me to meet his parents and introduced me as the woman I planned to marry. No hesitation. No games. No backdoor deals with other women. I heard through mutual friends that Ton and Chidinma are still together, but miserable. That his mother still controls every aspect of his life. That Chidinma is pregnant but unhappy. That he asks about me sometimes. And you know what? I feel nothing. Not anger. Not satisfaction. Nothing. Because I learned the most important lesson: a man who truly loves you will fight for you. Not quietly. Not secretly. Not when the time is right. He will fight for you in front of his family, his friends, the whole world if necessary. And if you won't? He never loved you the way you deserve to be loved. My name is Amarachi, and I almost married a man who was ready to make me his side chick in my own relationship. Thank God I escaped. To every woman reading this, don't ever be someone's secret. Don't ever accept being second choice. Don't ever wait for a man to figure things out with another woman. You are not a backup plan. You are not a maybe. You are a priority, or you are nothing. Choose yourself. Always choose yourself. Because the right person won't make you question your place in their life. They'll make damn sure everyone knows.